on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. Want to welcome you to the show. Hopefully everybody had a great day today. Man, I'm feeling better than what I felt since last week. So welcome to the show. Man, welcome everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house. And tonight, my glasses fogging up. I was lost track of time, so I was running, trying to get up here. But tonight we're gonna have a question for you. Have you seen a change since the George Floyd murder? And then also we're gonna talk about Dominique Wilkins and Trump. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Trump tonight. So we're going to talk about that. So definitely you could join in the conversation. You can always chat live with us in the chat room. My glasses are fogging up, so if it look like my eyes is closed, I'm trying to read the stream. So we could definitely do that. So in this last year since the murder of George Floyd, have you seen any change? And I guess I should ask, have you seen any change in America laws? Because I haven't. I haven't seen none. And if we don't get out and vote, we won't see none. Because people don't realize that's where our laws are made at. Welcome to the show, Radio Chaos, out of Canada. Welcome to the show. So that's why I asked the question. I know some people saying it's the anniversary. Yeah, he was murdered a year ago today. And that video still in my head about what I've had to witness. And I constantly play that in my head, in my mind, because that was a hard video to watch. Knowing that this cop is in the process of murdering this man that is in handcuffs. And to have to witness that. That's why I asked the question, have you seen a change? I personally haven't. Yeah, they making some laws, some different laws, different states, but are they going to enforce those laws? That's the key. You can make laws all day long just to please your state, your city, whatever it is. But if you don't enforce those laws, that's going to be a problem. Welcome to the show, T-Cal. So the thing is, this last year, Have you seen a change? I know I personally haven't. Maybe you can highlight me on something that you've seen a difference in. And that's why I'm putting the question out there, because I know personally I haven't seen a change. And it's bad that over 400 years, we still having to deal with this. We still have to go through it. Radio said, I haven't seen any change, but people are making it clear they want police reform and show no sign of backing down. You're right. They're not showing any. That's why I say protest is good. But on top of protesting, we also need to go to the polls. We need to vote. Right now, a lot of states are in the middle of a runoff. In the middle of a runoff. And how many people have voted? How many people planning on voting? The runoffs are important. And the reality of it, when you talk about taxes going up, well, when the taxes are going up, because when we had the runoff election, nobody shows up and they so close. Well, we got to pay for a whole nother election that costs millions. That could be money that can go to mental health awareness. Not only talking about giving a month mental health issues is not just in May. Mental health is a year-round thing. So if we get out and vote and eliminate these runoffs, well, guess what? That could be money going toward having someone on staff when it is a mental health crisis, having someone to come out and work them, be able to talk them down, provide that counseling with them. I can't, I wish we could trust the police enough to get the counseling, but unfortunately, a lot of these policemen choose to shoot first, ask question later. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them do. So I'm just saying, this last year, have you seen any change? I haven't. But like radio said, people are making it clear they want police reform. It's not a police problem, it's a race problem. For the fact that it's not all policemen that's doing it. Yeah, occasionally you might see a black guy do something wrong, but to flat out and murder someone, you don't see that. And to say that it's not a race issue, if it's not a race issue, you will see it across the board with all policemen, all different race of policemen. You don't see that. You only see it with a majority of the white guys. And that's a problem. T. Cal said, headed home. Very long day. I'm so glad to listen to you while I'm heading home. To my husband, also said true that. So if you're just now tuning in, you can also chime in. Also, just like T. Cal, Radio Chaos, y'all can always tune in. Also, if you're on Facebook, you can also chat live with us on Facebook. If you are on my personal page, please go over to um, Speak on it with Who You With Kurt Dog, and then I can also display your response too. So so the thing is, at what point are we going to say enough is enough? We have to start holding people accountable. Here it is. I don't know about where you at, but I could tell you about Dallas. Every day in Dallas, we're seeing every morning when you cut the news on, murder over here, murder over there, murder here, murder. Everywhere is a murder, murder. Why? Why are you trying to put guns in people's hands that don't have the mindset of being able to carry a gun? That's a problem. That's a problem. Now, what they starting to do is put ads out. Like I said, I know they listening because, like I said, I follow them if I can make sure they hear what I'm saying. Um, what's the Ken Paxton? And put an ad out. He's not saying um, he's running for Attorney General next year, but he's starting to put ads out to talk about he filed 5 lawsuits against Biden this year. The day after Biden got in office, he filed the lawsuit talking about the border. See, trying to get this scare tactic going on. Some people don't realize the issue with the border been going on for years. That's why I said last week or the week before when I talked about the reason why marijuana is illegal is because back in the 1930s when the Hispanics was coming here from Mexico, that was the source of income. And then finally in 1937, they used a scare tactic to make it illegal. To get it passed, they told people, well, if it's legal, what'll happen, it would encourage the white women to date, to have sexual relationship with, one article I read said black guys, the other one said with minorities, basically black and brown guys, saying that marijuana is gonna force them into doing that. Now the Hispanics back then, and they still do it today, they use marijuana for medical treatment. That's why we have CBD hemp oil and all of that. That is coming from um, certain type of marijuana for medical condition. But can you imagine? What if they made it legal? It was still legal back then. Can you imagine? A lot of time when people are going through fighting cancer, they recommend them smoking marijuana. It'll help them. So can you imagine if all these years, if they would have made it legal instead of making cigarette legal, would we still be fighting cancer? I'm just asking. Can you imagine that? What if? But the question tonight is, have you seen a change in this last year after the murder of George Floyd? I haven't. If people don't get out and vote, we won't. You should be encouraging your kids, letting them know the importance of voting. Here in Texas, they making it where we can only talk about only certain current events in school when it's dealing with race or even the history of America, because they want to take all of the history away. They don't want us to talk to our kids about it anymore. But we have the power to make sure our kids, our grandkids, nieces, nephews, great nieces and nephews, they could sit down and we could teach them about it. We could teach them about it. Nobody can take that away from you. Now, our kids and grandkids and great grandkids, they're looking at the fact that all these black people are being killed by the police. See, our ancestors used to call them Klansmen. What's the difference? Oh, they put down a sheet in a hood and picked up a uniform. Then they get some other ones that goes and put on a nice suit, call them politician. Then we have other ones that are put on a nice black robe and call them judges. But we have to do something. The best thing that we can do, along with marching, protesting, is to get out and vote. Get out and vote. Let your voice be heard. Radio asks, how many murders are there in Dallas each year on the average? They have gone up quite a bit. I couldn't even tell you. I'll see if I can pull it up in just a minute. Welcome to the show, Robin. Um, I'm so upset that the legislation surrounding policing hasn't passed yet. This is also what our children are saying. They need hope. They need to see the adults are doing right. And we don't have that. That's why we need to instill in our kids the importance of doing what's right. Regardless of what's coming towards you, you stick to what's right. And if it's right, you fight for it. Not saying always physical fight. Don't take it like that. When I say fight for it, I'm talking about when you 18, that's when your fight really start, because now you have a voice. You could go out and vote, get registered to vote and vote. And the politician that we're looking at that's not concerned about what's going on in your community, making the bogus laws, want to dictate what a woman can do and can't do with her body. So yeah, we need to teach our kids to do it, to be able to stand up and fight. Let your voice be heard. Yes, marching, protesting is always good. But we also need to do the same thing going through the polls. Take that to the poll. Get registered to vote. Take it to the poll and make sure you vote smart. Do your homework on your candidates. Don't just pick one just by the color of their skin, because everybody that look like you don't necessarily mean they for you. You need to do your homework and research their policies. That's how you know what they're all about. And if you get the opportunity to meet them, ask them the hard question. What are you going to do for my community? First time I met Junior, um, I asked him, hey, what you going to do for my community? He came out and I told him, I said, hold on now. You sounding like a young Barack Obama. He started laughing, but I believe in what he's saying and what he's doing. That's why I talk about him so much. Had the opportunity of meeting Kurt Johnson. Same thing. Asked him the same thing. And now they in a fight where they can make a difference in the city of Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie have not had a black city councilman in 40 years. In 40 years. That's a very diverse city. 40 years. Then the only thing you want, the same person want to be in there as long as they want to. They don't even have the audacity to come out and knock on doors no more. I feel like you should just vote for them because they in there. So yeah. Robin said yes, they absolutely replaced their hood with badges. Said also yes, it started at the house, in our homes. Yes, it do. That's why one of my uncles, my late uncle, Robert Smith, he told us at an early age, he said, look, no matter what you go through, you make sure you vote. You vote because they may not listen to you in person. But if you go to the voting booth, they don't have a choice. Because if they don't listen to you in person, you can vote them out and get them out. There's no reason for any runoff election should have a low outcome. None whatsoever. Deborah People, vote for her. If I was in Fort Worth, I would vote for her. I support her. Never met her, but I like what she stands for. Carolyn King Arnold, running for city council over in Dallas. I will vote for her. I know her personally. It's been years since I've talked with her, but she will get my vote. There's 5 other runoff going on in Dallas for different seats. So definitely get out and vote. If not, don't complain about anything. Don't complain about nothing, because you have this opportunity of changing things. Next year, along with this year, this election right here, next year is very important. We have Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, Dan Patrick, the Board of Education, all up for re-election. You've seen what they did for this pandemic. You've seen how Ken Paxton kept filing all these lawsuits with 2 charges hanging over his head. Let's get him out. Hold him accountable. He need to face those charges. He need to see his day in court. And before I get comments, I'm getting it together. But like I told y'all during the election, I voted for who I felt was best to beat Trump. And I also said I will hold them accountable. Right now, I'm not too pleased with Biden. I'm not pleased with him at all. So I'm getting it together and we're going to discuss it. Yeah, he did a semi-great thing to try to show support for the Black community by inviting George Floyd family to the White House, but you also the same one that said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black enough. But since you've been in office, you have made different laws for different race, and you forgot about the ones that helped get you in office. Like I told you before, you will be a one term. If you don't do what you say you was gonna do, nah, you got to get it together, Joe. Kamala, get it together. And Joe made the comment, you're not black enough if you don't vote for me. Well, right now, I feel like you pissing on us. All these different laws you making. What about the black laws that need to be done? The hate laws against black folks, which I feel like you shouldn't put a race on it at all. But you chose to make the Asian laws, the Asian hate laws. It should be a hate law for everybody and not just highlight one particular race. So, Biden, you need to make some changes because I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Now I'm going to start calling you out just like I would anybody else. Because the thing is, you put yourself in that position. When you made that comment and pretend to be for the black community, oh, you're not black enough if you don't vote for me. Well, guess what? Just how we got you in, we can also vote you out. You made it seem like you was going to be there for the black laws, but you're not. It's um, easy to get TV time to support, to pretend like you supporting, but you're not working on getting it done. That Asian law was passed so quick. I'm like, really? How many blacks have lost their lives? We have the shortest month out of the year for Black History Month. Every month is Black History for me. Biden, yeah, I need to start working. Need to start working. You made quite a bit of laws, but none toward the black community. Shout out to Little Baby for being there supporting George Floyd family. I don't know much about Little Baby, but I seen the video. He was with him. Seemed like to me he may be one of those folks that do things on the back end. Don't have to be in front of the camera to make things happen. So shout out to him for supporting that family. And while we're talking about laws, I heard the story. I want to say it was Monday morning, but like I said, I wasn't feeling good. About Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins. Yeah. Goes to a restaurant in Atlanta, upscale restaurant. They refuse to serve him. Dominique Wilkins refused to serve him. And I'm like, really? When I read the story, I'm like, wait a minute. The Dominique Wilkins? I said, no, that can't be the same one I'm thinking about. It didn't make a difference about his status. If you haven't seen the video with him and Don Lemon, go watch the video. Go watch the video. Because Don Lemon, uh, he said, well, they don't understand you're an NBA legend. Dominique said, look, it's not about me being an NBA legend. It shouldn't happen in the first place. It shouldn't happen to no one. So they said he wasn't dressed appropriate for that restaurant. Now, um, I'm gonna just read the story, let y'all come up with your own thought about it. Atlanta restaurant offered Dominique Wilkins an apology after being accused of discriminatory dress code. Um, I never denied, never dined at a upscale eatery. Le Bilboquet, or whatever it is, it's a French restaurant in Atlanta. I did see we have one in Dallas too, but we're talking about the one in Atlanta. Hopefully, the one in Dallas is not like that, because if so, we have some bigger issues. But we're talking about the one in Atlanta. But if Dominique Wilkins' previous experience there is the indication, I think it's safe to assume that I would never go there. On Saturday, the NBA legend took to Twitter to call out the popular French restaurant for refusing him service. Allegedly, it was because of his attire, but as anyone who's familiar with Wilkins knows, the dude doesn't even leave the house without looking like a GQ model. So let's just call a thing and say his skin made the perfect sin. In my word, in my many years in the world, I've eaten at some of the greatest restaurants in the world, he tweeted. But never have I felt prejudged or been turned away because of the color of my skin until today in Atlanta, in hashtag Atlanta. In at the Bilboquet Atlanta, hashtag turned away because I'm black. And he went on, for those who think the Hall of Famer is full of shit. Uh, During this subsequent interview with CNN, Don Lemon noted that the restaurant said that Wilkinson wasn't dressed fashionably enough to be allowed in the eatery. The 61-year-old immediately killed that noise. I'm dressed better than most of the guys that was sitting there, Wilkins said, after explaining that he was denied a table, even though there were plenty available. Very chic dress. I had a nice pullover shirt, long cargo black pants with nice sneakers. Now, to the left of me, it was three white guys coming in with shorts, t-shirts, sneakers. After expressing his confusion as to why he was still being denied service, he shared what the restaurant then told him. We're trying to keep a level of elegance in our restaurant, so we can't seat you at all. In response to these claims, Mark Hofer, Lebecu, general manager, told CBS 46 that this whole debacle had nothing to do with race. Um, and Wilkinson was wearing track pants that weren't complement with the restaurant dress code. He was turned away because he was not in compliance with our dress code. It has nothing to do with the color of his skin, Hoffa said. He was in track pants and we were being consistent with our policy. If we would have let him because of his celebrity status, he would have been uh, discriminated toward everyone. Um, we turned away based on that same policy. But didn't Wicked say we're letting white people in with shorts? People try to flip this, twist it, and turn it and make it something that it's not instead of what it is. Wilkins said. As a note, 3 days prior to Wilkins' claim, another black person approached CBS 46 and accused the same behavior. And if the restaurant Yelp's reviews are indication, racism has been a secret ingredient in their restaurant dishes, in their signature dishes for a hot minute now. So I Dominique did um given the respect Mr. Wilkins did um post some pictures on Twitter, and of course you can see in the pictures plenty of empty tables, plenty of them. And Dominique, I don't think I really heard much about him in the news, at least nothing negative. But here it is. Go there trying to eat lunch on a Saturday afternoon, wanted to sit outside because it was a beautiful day in Atlanta. Unlike here in Dallas, it was a beautiful day in Atlanta. And hot Atlanta wanted to sit outside, enjoy the breeze, have a nice meal, but they won't even allow him to enjoy it. And so, because of that, the restaurant sent out another apology to him that was completely different. But you can always find that information. Just Google Dominique Wilkins' name, and it'll come up. It's all over the internet. That was one story I was going to talk about last night and didn't get a chance to. So on Trump, I know a lot of it's finna get rally. Um, that's why I did this one last. So uh, one thing that came out earlier was Trump asked a judge to throw out the lawsuit for the Capitol riot lawsuit that he's involved in. I believe it's several Senate and Congress that is suing him for inciting this riot that happened. That's cool, but since then, since I put it up, um, a lot more had taken place. So Manhattan DA convenes grand jury and Trump investigation reports say. So don't do that. Okay. Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus R. Vance Jr. has convinced a grand jury in his wide-ranging investigation into former President Donald Trump, the Washington Post reported Tuesday, citing two sources familiar with the probe. Prosecutors have been investigating Trump, the Trump Organization, and its officers since at least 2018. The grand jury signaled that they are ready to present evidence and potentially seek indictment. The panel was convened recently, according to the Post, but it was unclear precisely when. It will meet 3 days a week over a span of 6 months. A spokesperson for Trump did not reply to a request from CNBC for the response to the legal department. In New York State, this kind of special grand jury typically hears a number of different cases and is especially useful in complex, long-running matters. Although much advanced investigation is still part court filing and witnesses have confirmed that prosecutors are investigating several counter financial activity that Trump and the Trump organization engaged in. One of them is whether the former president and his company falsely inflated the value of their property for insurance adjusters and then undervalued the property for tax purpose. Hmm. Another area under investigation is how the Trump organization paid its top executives, and whether taxes were paid on various forms of compensation. Earlier this year, Vance and his team won a court battle over Trump tax return, which they subpoenaed from the firm that prepared them. The former president has repeatedly and forcibly denied any wrongdoing. He has accused the district attorney office of engaging in a politically motivated investigation. New York State Attorney General uh, Miss Jane Miss James is also investigating Trump organization in criminal capacity. The Attorney General office have initially opened a civil investigation into the Trump organization, but earlier this month, James spokesman announced that the case had evolved into a criminal probe. For more on the Trump grand jury, read the full story from the Washington Post. Um, I feel like it will, radio. It's gonna drag on for a couple of years, and the thing is, what a lot of people don't realize, um, when they talk about um, how Trump saying no, all of this is it's not right. It's a political view. You have three different agencies looking into you. Now, one thing that everybody should know is the fact that your school that you had, that these people paid they hard earned money for, they end up getting loans for, and the school was a fraud. That's what kicked it all off. Part of it. Because if you're gonna mess people around about a schooling just to say that they went to the Donald Trump school or Trump International School, whatever it was called, and you fraud these people out their money, what make people think you won't fraud anybody else out of anything? And then for you to laugh and joke or talk about you know how to not pay taxes. Well, yeah, you do. That's why you're in a predicament now. That's why you're in a predicament now. You told the insurance adjusters, oh, the property is worth this much. But then when it came down to your taxes, it's worth this much. Then you talked about the laws that you made, and now you don't have to pay no taxes. But at the same time, I forgot how much you paid your daughter for a consultant. Did she pay taxes on it? How about the fact during your inauguration dinner, you raised the price up on everything because it was held at your hotel, which I believe at one point they said was a violation. You never should have been allowed to have it there. That's why your daughter and your staff had to testify. So when you're doing wrong, it's going to come back and bite you. And it's going to bite you in a way that you're not going to like it. Yeah, it's probably going to be dragged out for years. But I believe they said that um, this grand jury is going to be on the case for 6 weeks or 6 months, 3 times a week. Trump, you done. I'm going to just say it. At the very least, Trump should have been prevented from running in 2024, but he dodged that. I still shake my head over that one. Yeah. And Liz McCain said that there was a lot of other Republicans that wanted to impeach him, but they were scared of their life, scared for their life. And the thing is, that's why I say Trump probably has some dirt on a lot of them. They undone some things together, and he probably told them, "Well, I know you undid this, you undid that. I go down, you go down. We all gonna sink on this ship, and it's gonna be interesting. Gonna be very interesting when if Trump is indicted or if he have to testify. He's not going to do it for nothing. Trust me. If he go down, we're going to find some real truth for the simple fact, um, that um, he's not gonna go for it. It's not gonna be good. Um, and I just thought about something I told you earlier, radio, and I'm trying to pull it up. Um, so so that's going to be very interesting when it come down to that. Going to be very interesting when it come down to Trump, and it's I don't know how accurate this is. I don't think that's correct. Trying to answer your question. Okay, I guess it might be. So yeah, that that's going to be very interesting when it's dealing with Trump, and um going to be interesting. It's we finna find out some a whole bunch of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't start seeing uh, elected officials start getting hauled off to jail, um, because of some things that may come out. Um, oh hell no, no. See, if he was impeached, we wouldn't be paying that money now. I I don't know any Secret Service that'll go into jail with him. I wouldn't volunteer for that. I'd be like, look, that's on him. I'm not signing up for that. He's on his own. Now he might be in a maximum security prison or something in solitary. Him and his orange can spray. Um, but the thing is, hey, y'all got Bill on some stuff that happened 30 years ago. Trump is recent. Let's get him. Lock him up. That's one of the things, one of the ways he got elected. Lock her up. Soon as I get in office, I'm gonna lock her up. I'm sure Hillary is sitting somewhere, her and Bill both sitting somewhere with a big bowl of popcorn, talking about we finna watch this show, see who going to jail first. So yeah, Donna, you can't lie your way out of this one. Unfortunately, it's a known fact. Um, you're not gonna lie your way out of this one. So, radio, you asked the question earlier about what is Dallas murder rate. Um, it changes quite a bit. Um, Sometime, and I'm trying to. Okay, so I guess it's about right. Last year, Dallas had 252 murder rates last year. Um, Now the highest I've seen it is back in '91. It was 500. So it goes up and down. The year before then, to 252. In 2020, it was 252. And the last time it was that high, it was 98. It was 252 and 98. So between 98 and 2020, they was all lower. Uh, I think the lowest from there was 116 murders was the lowest, and that was in 2014. So I was able to pull that up on uh, just Google Dallas homicide count, and it went all the way back from um, 1930. Now I don't know how they had. Oh, that's homicide by decades. In the 1930s, on an average, they had 55.7 homicide, which I don't believe that. Because back in the 1930s, it's a reason why Texas had the slogan, um, "Hang 'em high, Texas." So it's a reason behind that. Now maybe they weren't counting all the alleged. No, it ain't no damn alleged. All the black killings that was done by the Klansmen back then, and they're saying on an average by decades, 55.7 murders. I think they probably were just counting the white murders. Had to be, because in 10 years you only had 55.7. In the 30s, I don't see that at all. Now, 1930 they counted 20. That's why we need to know the history of America, because it's way more than 20 black folks that was killed during the 30s in 1930. In 31 it was 30. 32 it was 56. So it's a whole list of them. But I think these earlier years are probably inaccurate. I just don't believe that. Nah, not with the history of America, and definitely not Texas. Um, Radio said we average about 40 per year. Wow. Um, and that's, they don't carry guns, so that's what, pocket knife, or just a bear, a bear attacking someone. Um, but either way, I just don't believe in 1930 it was only 20 murders in Texas. In Dallas. Well, that's for Dallas. It could be, but I don't know. I don't know, because Texas have a thing called Hang 'em High Texas for a reason. Um, so that's on that. Now we're gonna jump back on Trump, because I know I've been paying attention to some of these riots, some of these terrorists from January 6th. Um, they complaining, they upset because the condition of the jails. I guess they wanted to be at Trump Plaza. A lot of them have filed motions to be removed out the Washington, D.C. jail. Jail is not a luxury hotel. Now, the problem is you made that choice to be there, just like you made the choice to do a terrorist attack on America. But now you upset, you want vegan food, you want special treatment, and you want to be transferred to another jail because you don't like the condition of it. Well, guess what? If you didn't go to Washington on January 6, 2021, and invaded the Capitol Hill, you could live in whatever condition you wanted to, or whatever you accustomed to. But when you're in jail, it's not a luxury hotel. Maybe what you seen on TV and the movies, maybe you thought it was better than that. But the thing is, you in jail. You're in jail. You in jail for a terrorist act. I think even one guy said, I would you could send me home, put me on a monitoring device and a secondary monitoring, and he'll just go home on house arrest. That's not your choice. This is not a choice where you get to pick and choose where you go. You made that choice to go there and do this terrorist act on America. And now you want to complain about the conditions. You made that choice to do that. Nobody then tie your hands and tell you, hey, you need to go and do this. But now you want people to feel sorry for you. That's part of the consequences. Jail is not a resort. It's not. T. Cal said exactly. I'm so tired of hearing that. You know how many black people are incarcerated and they don't get requests? Exactly. You do the crime, you do the time. Unfortunately, if it was up to me, all of you be in jail. None of you be out on bond because you committed a terrorist act on the greatest country in the world. You committed a terrorist act trying to overturn our government. And a lot of you is ex-military. I've asked the question before. Do you feel we should be paying them for this terrorist act? Should they get the benefits of the military? I'm like, no. No. Why should our tax dollars pay for that? They made that choice. They made that choice now. No, they shouldn't be. Radio asks, why haven't Senate Haley and Cruz been charged for their role in the Capitol riot? I mentioned a while ago, if Trump get indicted, we probably going to start seeing a lot of elected officials going down too. See, that's kind of like, there's another reason why we need to get Ken Paxton out of office. couple of days before uh, January 6th, if I'm, let me pull it up to make sure, because I want to make sure I'm putting out the right information. But he went to a, uh, hold on. Oh, Lord. Donald Trump said he'll endorse in likely primary ballot for Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton or George P. Bush. Hmm. Yeah. Uh, George P. Bush consulted with Donald Trump before his suspected challenge against Texas AG Ken Paxton. Lee Merritt still have my vote. George P. Bush is trying to go off for the name. The Bushes before you messed all that up. Ain't gonna happen. You own, I believe you own something in Texas. I can't remember what your position is right now, but nah, go and take a seat. Lee Merritt is the man for that. Not let someone else come back because I haven't seen you do anything for the state of Texas. Um, let me see, Ken Paxton. Because I ran across this story earlier. Um, oh, he think the 500 people that show up at a rally yesterday. Okay. Uh, oh, I definitely did not see this one. Um, hold on. Let me pull this story up on the side. I missed this news. Ken Paxton tell the New York Times he doesn't support Greg Abbott for re-election, then tweet that he does. I don't think he support me. I don't support him. Paxton told the New York Times in a story published Tuesday. He later criticized the story as fake news and insists he backed Abbott. That's so funny. Uh, that is so funny. Yeah. T-Cal said, hello, now you're saying something, radio. I feel you on that because um, I seen a story earlier by Ken Paxton right before the January 6th. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Oh, okay. Now this came out. Oh, actually, this just came out today. Kim Paxton refused to release message about attendance at pro-Trump rally before January 6th insurrection. The Texas Tribune uh, joined several other news organizations in an effort to attain copies of emails and text message that the Texas Attorney General sent or received while in Washington for the rally. This is gonna get interesting. This is really finna get interesting because I wasn't aware. Yes, he was hanging out with Cruz during that time. Um, so the Texas Attorney General office is attempting to withhold all message Ken Paxton sent or received while in Washington for the pro Donald Trump rally that devolved into a riot at the U.S. Capitol. Several news organizations in Texas have requested copies of the Attorney General work-related communication. The Texas Public Information Act guarantee the public right to government record, even if the records are stored on personal device or online account of public officials. After Pat's office refused to release copies of his emails and text message, the Texas Tribune and ProPublica, the Austin American Statement, the Dallas Morning News, the Houston Chronic, and the San Antonio Express News are working together in an effort to attain the document and review Patson open record practice. The news outlet discovered that Patson office, which is supposed to enforce the state open record law, has no policy governing the release of work related message stored on Patson's personal device. It is unclear whether the office reviewed Patson's email account and phones to look for requested records, or whether the Attorney General himself determined what to turn over without any outside checks. Patson is now facing some of the most intense public scrutiny of his career. The Republican Attorney General is reportedly under federal investigation for allegedly abusing his office to help a campaign donor. He also led a failed attempt to overturn the presidential election, joining with other GOP attorney general in a lawsuit seeking to invalidate swing state victory for Democrat Joe Biden. A spokesperson for the Office of Attorney General said the agency followed the Texas Administration Code, which specify how long agency have to hold on to records, but is distant from the open record law. He did not answer reporters' question about whether Patson is given free rein to determine which of his communication are public and which are confidential under these rules. The Washington trip on January 6th, Patson spoke at the pro-Trump rally in Washington, appearing with his wife, State Senate Angela Patson, Republican McKinney, the Attorney General, tried his unsuccessful legal effort to overturn the presidential election. What we have in President Trump is a fighter, Patson told the crowd, a Trump supporter. And I think that's why we're all here. We would not quit fighting. We're Texans, we're American, and the fight will go on. Members of the crowd stirred up by false claim of voter fraud, later stormed the Capitol, fought with riot police, and threatened lawmakers. 5 people died in the violence, including a Capitol police officer. Patson later falsely blamed the violence on Antifa, a left-wing anti-fascist movement, and claimed Trump supporters weren't responsible for the insurrection. Federal prosecutor had charged more than 300 people in connection with the riot and alleged that some have ties to white supremacy group. FBI Director Christopher Wray said investigators found no evidence that members of Antifa attacked the Capitol. Yeah, it's a long article. You can actually find this on the Texas Tribune, but I wasn't aware of that. So this is really getting interesting. Now I kind of have an understanding why Ken Patson was filing all these bogus lawsuits, costing our tax dollars to go to waste for each one of these lawsuits he actually filed, because he don't want to give up the message. But unfortunately, you seem like there would be obstruction of justice. If it's supposed to be an open record, you don't have a choice. If you destroy that record, guess what? It's gonna bite you either way. however it's gonna happen. See, I feel he know more than what he wants, than what he think we know. And the thing is, he gonna be held accountable. What you do in the dark shall come to the light, and it's gonna come back and bite you. It's gonna bite you where the sun don't shine. And when it do, see the smile on my face, and I'm gonna keep on smiling because you have done a lot of dirt, but now it's gonna cost you. You've been running from these charges for 5 years, but now you finna get some more charges. Allegedly get more charges. Um, but at the same time, you was there. I'm sure you and Trump and other people all communicated. You probably even have a couple of pictures that you taken as you pass by as they attack Capitol Hill, allegedly. But and unfortunately for your wife, guilty, allegedly guilty by association. She was there. Both of you know more than what you think. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. But at the same time, like you said, you don't support Greg Abbott because he don't support you. Then you go on Twitter and try to change the story and say fake news. Fake news. Lee Murray, I got you. I'm gonna support you because we're not getting another Bush in office. That nah, I feel like you could beat George P. Bush. So yeah, uh, you ever had a time, you more than welcome to come on here and promote yourself. I don't know what time frame y'all can start doing it, but I'm supporting you. Not let someone else come on that is better than you, but I see the work that you do. You on the front line and you fight for everybody. And for me, that's a plus. That's a plus because you fight for everybody. You don't care what color they are. You fight for them. And I appreciate that because a lot of people would turn their back to it and go the other way. But for you, you on the front line. Ken Patson. Yeah, that's all I can say is I guess you're gonna be talking about the condition of the jails too. Allegedly. I gotta keep adding allegedly because I know uh, I don't want to say nothing that he may try to come after me. But allegedly, hey, radio said there's a new public health crisis addition to attach attaining and holding on to power. Yeah, it is. That's a mental illness. We are in mental illness month. Um, I actually talked with Miss Kincaid today. She been busy. And I told her, I said, hey, you know you always have open door. Whenever you ready to come, just let me know. And we're working it out where we could get other counselors that they know to come on the show. So hopefully we can get it worked out. We can actually come on once, have a counselor on every week. That's what I would love to do. Have them on every week or every other week. And then we could do that because dealing with some of the things that we're dealing with, these stories that come out, here it is, Runner Green. Talked about it last night. Seeing the pictures, hearing the story happened 2 years ago. And they just now um, releasing the body cam footage last week. Excuse me. Then also, I was gonna hit on this tomorrow because it probably take a while on it, but um, I don't know if y'all seen that video. And shout out to Attorney Ben Crump for always putting information out there, um, that people can see some of the stuff he's working on. And um, while we're talking about Ronald Green, well, let's talk about Lane Norman, um, a Louisiana probation officer. And we're gonna talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna just get y'all prepared for it. But Louisiana probation officer was caught planting drugs in the garage of McKinley Bates in the third. McKinley Bates the third. I cannot read my handwriting. McKinley Bates the third. Planting drugs. He's the probation officer. But he came to a whatever reason he was there. I don't know if McKinley Bates was on probation. I believe he was. For whatever reason, it doesn't make a difference. But he came in and planted drugs in the garage. Now, when I seen it, I thought it was a clip from a movie. I actually thought it was a clip from a movie or something. He didn't realize it was cameras in the garage. You could clearly see him pulling the drugs out of his pocket and stashing them in the garage. If it wasn't for no cameras, McKinley Bates would be in jail. I think he would have been facing 15 to 20 years if it wasn't from the cameras. And guess what? Old Lane is still a probation officer. Louisiana, we have a problem. We have cops that murder Ronald Green. Then we have Lane Norman planting drugs. No charge has been brought up on neither one of them. We have a problem. I could talk about it, but it's going to take you to solve it. Okay, I just heard somebody say, Kurt Dawg, how can I solve it? Same thing I've always say. Get registered to vote and vote. There are supervisors that are not holding them accountable. Need to get them out of office. Whoever put them in office, get them out of office. Vote somebody in there that's gonna hold them accountable. Start with the governor. He should have stepped up and said something. Start with them. Start with your elected officials, whatever city it's in. Now, I haven't done a lot of research on this incident, But the short piece I read, the video I seen, I'm like, really? You just gonna flat out and plant drugs in a garage? Seen when they pulled up? They pull up, guy sitting at the table, guy go searching around, dig in his pocket, put some drugs in a bucket. If it wasn't for the cameras, Mr. Bates would be in jail right now. He will be in jail. How many other folks have Lane done this to? He probably done it to a lot of people. They just didn't have cameras. But people say it's not a problem with race in America. Why would you want to send someone back to prison that is getting their life on track? Nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every day. But I learn from my mistakes, just like other people do. They learn from their mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. You're right, radio corruption is everywhere, not just at the highest level, but the highest level have been silent about both of these incidents. And because they are silent, it's like they okay with it. That runner green incident, nah. No way it should have been 2 years and this officer still on the force. They beat that man in the pictures. That officer don't need to be on the force. He need to be locked up. And then for Lane Norman, he should be locked up. Falsifying documents. Possession of drugs. It's a long list of charges he could have. So where he get the drugs from? Did he buy them? Did he take them off of somebody else? Or did he take them from the evidence room? It's not just at the highest level. I agree with you. But when the highest level don't say anything or do anything, they're just as guilty as the lowest level. They okay with it. They comfortable with those actions going on. Ronald Green, 2 years. They've been holding on to this video for 2 years. Why? Immediately, once they seen the body cam, those cops should have been terminated and fired. Should have been terminated and arrested immediately. And for this probation officer, they need to go back and look at all his cases. Mr. Bates was just lucky. They had cameras in the garage. If it wasn't for the cameras, Mr. Bates probably would be in, he will be back in jail. Um, Radio said, I saw a video the other day of a person getting thrown in jail for refusing to remove an offensive bumper sticker from his vehicle that read, I eat ass just because the cop didn't like it. Um, hey, what happened to freedom of speech? I'm not saying the bumper sticker is, I'm not saying the bumper sticker is right, but I've seen some crazy bumper stickers. Um, I've recently seen one, and I'm not gonna say where, but it was pretty bad. Um, so, but it's freedom of speech. I thought. I don't know. I guess it depends on who it is. It's freedom of speech for somebody. It's a violation for others. That's all I'm saying. It's people gonna say and do things that we all not gonna agree with. So um for the ones that's tuning in or just tuned in, you have been listening to Speak on It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm feeling much better today compared to what I did in the last couple of days. I would still encourage you to go get your shot. Get your shot. Um, yeah, unfortunately, it's like that. That's the type of society that we're in today. A pet, only thing they want to do is snug up to you, rub on you, lick on you, or something. But people today, you don't know what to get. And here's another thing I'm noticed, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. Um, time have changed. Time have changed a lot. I remember growing up as a child. If we had a disagreement with someone, we would take a stick, a rock, or something and put on our shoulder. And we might have it up there for at least a long time until somebody else that don't have anything to do with it come up and knock it off. But the whole time we might be talking about, yeah, you bad, knock the stick off, knock the stick off, you bad, knock it off, you bad. Now, in the time that we're in, people are so quick to draw a gun instead of doing like we used to do back in the old days. In the old days, if we had a disagreement with somebody, yeah, we put the stick on there as we may even fight a little bit. And not saying it was right. If we fought, we lived to see another day. Now people are quick to pull out a gun and shoot instead of putting the guns down and fighting. I'm not saying fighting is good, but at least you have the opportunity of living another day. And when I was growing up, we can fight, and after we got finished, we back hanging out together. So my thing was back then was, what was the purpose of us fighting? Just to say, oh, I beat you, you beat me this time, and we go back and forth, and but we're still gonna hang out. And then we end up losing the fight because when we got home, our parents whooped us for being out there acting a fool. And I say that because I seen a video. Two guys um was getting into it. They started fighting. One guy fell. His feelings was hurt. While he was on the ground, he get up, pull a gun out. I don't know if he hit the guy, but he shot several times, and the guy was close enough. So I don't know if he hit the guy with the bullet or not, but he chose to fire a gun instead of taking that ass whooping and live another day. Because the thing is, if you did shoot that guy, your life is destroyed because you're going to prison. If you didn't hit the guy, guess what? Your life's still destroyed because you did attempted murder. With a fight, yeah, you can fight. It's over with. Go on by your business. Catch them on the next one. Maybe you'll get lucky. I'm telling everybody, don't let this law go to your mind saying, oh, I could carry a gun. You can, but everybody not mentally stable to carry a gun and control themselves. That gun that you have, it could do one or two things. It's supposed to be for protection, but it don't give you superpower. It's either gonna protect you or it's gonna cause you to destroy your life. One of the two. Um, so that's what you have to be concerned about. Don't let it go to your head. Now, I know last night, and I need to recheck this. I think they made some changes to that law because at first it said that the police officer cannot just approach you because you have a gun. But this morning on the news, I heard him say several times they made some changes overnight and saying yes, if a officer see you with a gun, they have every right to stop you and question you about it. So you need to know the law. They're still working it out. But whenever it comes out, you need to know the law. Now, here's the issue with that. And several years ago, they actually had someone did a video, showed a white guy walking down the street with an assault rifle. Nobody said anything. Black guy do the same thing. The whole police force came out. And if it wasn't for the fact when they jumped out their cars, they said, hey, this is being videotaped. It's not real. That guy probably would have been shot. That tells you the difference right there between black and white laws. White guy do it, no problem. Black guy do it, the whole police force come out. That's the difference. Radio said, I remember the old commercial for Duracell battery when Robert Conrad dared the viewer to knock the battery off his shoulder. Hey, that's the way we handle stuff back when I was growing up. Go ahead, knock it off, and we'll be up there face to face, and we'll be turning around the whole time. Knock it off. You bad. You bad. Then finally, somebody in the crowd come up and tip it off your shoulder. And if you didn't see them doing it, oh, you knocked that off my shoulder? Do it again. Put it back up there. Do it again. Then if somebody finally knock it off or whatever, then the fight was on. So, um, yeah, but like I was saying before, you have been listening to Speak on it with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. You could join us Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Thursday. I would encourage everyone to please get vaccinated. We're still in the pandemic, even though a lot of these states are opening things back up. Please protect yourself. Even if you are vaccinated, please continue to wear your mask if you're around a crowd. Be respectful. If you see someone wearing a mask, don't get upset at them. They're trying to protect you and protect their family and their self because you don't know what health condition they may have. I wear two masks. Yeah, I don't like it, but guess what? I feel good to know that I'm protected and I'm also protecting you. Please do not forget, all over this country, we're in the middle of a runoff election. If they are voting in your area, please get out and vote. Get out and vote. If you just moved to another state, go ahead and get registered for that state. Get registered to vote for that state. And please do not forget, if you are a ex-felon, meaning that you're not on probation, you paid all your dues, you're completely clear, check with your state and see if you could get your voting rights back. You could go to vote.org. It's real simple and easy. I went on there, even though I have a clean record, went on there and I did some checking. Pretend like I had the worst record you could ever think of. And they still would have gave me my voting rights back. So definitely go to vote.org, find out if you get your voting rights back, let your voice be heard. Get prepared before the election next year, because we need all hands on deck, all hands. So until tomorrow night, I love each and every one of you. Until then, peace.